Hello. In the last lecture, we saw the different ways in which the package density is affected, how the traverse ratio or the angle of wind affects package densities. So today we shall see the different types of winding machines, and we will see how we can actually control the angle of wind, the traverse ratio on these various machines, and how we can change them to our convenience, or how we can change them to change the package densities as per our requirement. So to understand all these parameters, first we must understand how these different types of winding machines work. So let us see the what kind of winding principles are actually involved here. There are primarily two types of winding principles. One is a drum driven, or they are also known as random winders. The package is driven by frictional contact with the drum. Spindle driven or precision winders. The package is mounted on a spindle which is positively driven by a gear system, and precision winders are preferred for winding delicate yarns. This is mainly because in the previous principle we saw that there is a drum and there is a frictional contact. So in case of delicate yarns, precision winders are preferred, where there are chances of lesser chances of yarn damage due to abrasion, as the package is not rotated by surface contact. We know that in precision winders we use a spindle for driving, and that is why there are lesser chances of damage by surface contact. So coming in under spindle driven, there are again two types of winders. One is a constant RPM spindle winder. That is, in case of constant spindle RPM spindle winders, the speed is going to remain constant. The RPM of the spindle is constant, and hence the surface speed of the package will increase as the package diameter increases. Therefore, winders are normally not based on this principle, but we have to know this principle and we'll try to understand it. Then there are variable RPM spindle winders. In this case, the spindle speed is reduced with the increase in package diameter. All precision winders are working on this kind of principle. So we should try and understand these different types of winders, their principles, and then we will try step by step. We'll try to understand how certain settings can be changed, or certain things can be changed on these machines to change the angle of wind and the traverse ratio. So let us begin. Before we begin with the machine itself, let us see some important formulae that are involved here. We should know the difference between traverse speed, traverse ratio, and so on. So let us take a look at them one by one. We should remember these formulae so that we are able to prove certain things which will come in the following lecture. So traverse speed, speed is normally defined as distance upon time. So distance upon the minutes that the taken for traveling that much distance. So when we say we put it in the form of a formula, it will be distance covered in one double traverse um, divided by time taken for one double traverse. So with this, let us try to understand how we replace this particular time for one double traverse by another formula here. So to understand this, let us understand this particular box which has just come up. Double traverse per minute means, what does it mean when we say double traverse per minute? Let us say that it is x double traverses. So x double traverse takes place in 1 minute. This is what it means. X double traverses take place in one particular minute. So therefore, for one double traverse, how much time will it take? So to find out that, we have to just simply cross multiply. So one double traverse will take 1 divided by x, that is the double traverses. So I get this much time it will take in minutes for one double traverse. So replacing in this above formula with this particular formula that we have just understood. So the new equation becomes distance covered in one double traverse would be 2 into traverse length divided by 1 upon double traverse per minute. So when I just rearrange this, I get it as traverse speed is equal to 2 into traverse length, which is already there, multiply by this double traverse per minute will go in the numerator. So this is the formula that we finally end up with. So this is the formula that we must remember for our future reference. The next formula we would like to discuss is double traverse per minute. Double traverse per minute is equal to wind per minute. That means how many coils are being wound per minute, and divided by the number of revolutions in one particular double traverse. So when I divide this by this, I get double traverses that are made in 1 minute. So when I say wind per minute, it can be RPM of the drum in case of a drum winder, or it could be replaced by spindle speed in case of a precision winder. So when I just convert this, revolutions per double traverse actually means traverse ratio. So I replace it with traverse ratio. I get the formula as wind per minute divided by traverse ratio, which is nothing but double traverse per minute. So these are the two main important formulae which I may require in my future discussion. So let us have a look at in depth about the drum driven winding machine. So we have this particular machine, the way it looks. This is the drum which has got grooves on it, which will be making the yarn traverse from one end of the package to the other, and this is how it's driven. So driven by frictional surface contact with the drum, and traverse is given by the grooves cut on the drum or by a reciprocating guide. Now again, there could be two types in this. We shall just see. One is where the package is in contact with a grooved drum, or the second kind of drum driven machine could be where it is in contact with a plain driving drum, and the traverse is provided by a separate mechanism here, which is a groove drum. So groove drum rotate the package as well as provide the traverse in the first case, and in the second case B, in case of plain drum, the traverse is provided by the reciprocating guide, which is shown here. So having seen these two types of drum driven winding machines, let us go further and see what is the speed of the package during package build up in case of drum driven winders. So this is a sketch of two packages which are shown. This is almost empty package, maybe a small package which is in the beginning, and as it grows in size, this is how it will look. So assuming no slippage between the drum and the package, the surface speed of the drum is equal to the surface speed of the package. So all the while we know that whatever is the driving and the driven, both will have a surface speed which is going to be equal throughout, whether the package is in the beginning or at the end. So pi dn is equal to pi into small d into small n. Here small d and small n are the diameter and the RPM of the package, whereas capital D and N are the RPM and diameter of the drum. So since the surface speed of the drum is constant in throughout the package, we can see that the drum diameter does not change, neither does the speed of the drum. So this left hand side would always be a constant. Therefore, as the package diameter increases, that means small d increases, the RPM of the package is going to automatically reduce. So keeping this in mind, that the RPM of the package in case of a drum driven machine, um, the speed of the package will go on reducing as the package diameter goes on increasing. So with this, we let us see analyze the angle of wind situation in case of a drum driven winding. So we have seen this. This is the angle of wind, which is theta, which is the angle of the coil between the coil and the side of the package. So this is the angle theta we're talking about, which is angle of wind. So showing this in this particular way, on the x-axis it would be traverse speed, on the y it would be surface speed, and this would be the angle theta. We have already seen this. Tan theta is equal to traverse speed upon surface speed, where surface speed is equal to pi into diameter of the package into RPM of the drum, and traverse speed would be 2 into traverse length into double traverse per minute. We have just seen this in the earlier formulas that we discussed. So this is also equal to traverse length into RPM of the drum divided by revolutions per double traverse, which where I've replaced this double traverse per minute with this particular equation here. So this is my new formula for traverse speed. So therefore, when I combine this surface speed as well as the traverse speed, I substitute in the earlier formula here. What I get is 2 into traverse length into RPM of the drum divided by revolutions per double traverse into pi into diameter of the drum into RPM of the drum. where RPM of the drum would get cancelled from the numerator and denominator, and this is what will remain. In the above equation, we see that the traverse length, the diameter of the drum, and the number of revolutions per double traverse. All these three are going to remain constant for a given drum, and hence the angle of wind will remain constant with the increase in package diameter. So one element we have established, that the angle of wind in case of a drum driven winder is going to be constant throughout the build of the package. So having seen this, let us go to the next parameter, that is the traverse ratio in case of a drum driven winder. So traverse ratio would be expressed as wind per minute divided by double traverse per minute, which is equivalent to RPM of the package. Wind per minute is nothing but RPM of the package, whereas double traverse per minute I can replace by RPM of the drum divided by revolutions per double traverse from the earlier formulas that we have seen. So which is equivalent to, I just reshuffle this and rearrange it. I get it as revolutions per double traverse into RPM of the package, which was already there, divided by RPM of the drum. So now when I look at this formula, this RPM of the package and RPM of the drum, we can easily replace with the diameters, because we know in a case of a drum driven winding machine, pi dn is equal to small pi dn, and when I reshuffle this, it is n upon capital N is equal to capital D upon small d. So in this case, RPM of the package upon RPM of the drum, which is n upon n here, can be replaced by capital D upon D, that is diameter of the drum upon diameter of the package. So this would be my final formula for traverse ratio. And so from the above equation, as the diameter of the package, because it's in the denominator, diameter of the package increases, the traverse ratio will go on reducing. So we have seen one more parameter related with traverse ratio in case of a drum driven winder, and we see that the traverse ratio goes on reducing. And this would be how it could be expressed in the form of a graph, where we see as the package diameter on the x-axis goes on increasing, the traverse ratio will go on reducing. So having seen two parameters mainly, that is my angle of wind and the traverse ratio, let us see how it affects the winding speed in case of a drum driven winder. So winding speed is equal to whole square root of surface speed square plus traverse speed square. This is the formula. So surface speed is constant, since surface speed of the package is equal to surface speed of the drum, which is constant, we know that. So this first parameter will be constant here. What about traverse speed? Traverse speed is also equal to 2 into traverse length into double traverse per minute, which we could easily replace by this particular double traverse per minute can be replaced by RPM of drum upon number of revolutions per double traverse. So when we look at this entire thing, it is a constant, and we have also proved in our earlier slide that traverse speed in case of a drum driven winder is going to be constant. So when both these parameters are going to be constant, we can easily conclude that therefore the winding speed of a drum driven machine is constant during the entire package build. So we have seen the major most important parameters, and how whether they increase or decrease in case of a drum driven winder. So to summarize, we can say that in case of a drum driven winder, as the package increases in diameter, the first thing that happens is the RPM of the package reduces. Then the angle of wind remains the same throughout the build of the package. The traverse ratio goes on reducing, and winding speed is constant. So we must remember this, and this is the way it can be shown in the form of a diagram, where we see that the angle of wind remains constant. So to keep this angle of wind constant, which is theta, the same thing, as the package builds up, I may have to reduce the traverse ratio, and only then this angle theta can be maintained. So traverse ratio will be reduced. So let us go to the next kind of principle, or the next machine that is based on the second principle, that is the spindle driven winding machine. And this is how it will look. The spindle, on the spindle the package is mounted, and it will be rotated by this spindle rotation. And as you can see, this gear A will be driving another gear B, which is actually the traverse mechanism, which is separate from the spindle package or the package driving mechanism. So as in case of drum driven, both were the same. The drum as well as the package drive was the same. In this case, it is isolated, but the spindle will drive the traverse mechanism through a pair of gears shown here, A and B. So speed is transferred from spindle to the traverse mechanism. If A and B gears are not changed, that means if throughout the build of the package nobody is going to change those gears in between. So if these gears are not changed, then the ratio of the spindle speed to traverse speed, that is the number of traverse per minute, will remain constant. So basically the ratio, we must remember, ratio will remain constant. So spindle driven winders are also known as precision winders, as a precise ratio is maintained between RPM of spindle and the RPM of the traversing mechanism. So the name comes because of this reason, that there is a precise ratio between spindle speed and traverse speed. So this ratio is always maintained precisely. So in the similar way as we saw for the drum driven winders, we'll see one by one the parameters and how they are affected. Angle of wind in case of a spindle driven winding machine. Speed is transferred from spindle to the traverse mechanism. If A and B are not changed, then the ratio of spindle speed to traverse speed will remain constant. So tan theta is traverse speed upon surface speed, we have just seen, and when I replace this traverse speed as it is and surface speed by pi dn, this would be the formula the way it looks. In the above formula, since the ratio of spindle speed to traverse speed that is n, and the traverse speed that is given here, this ratio will remain constant, and pi is a constant. So we can say that this tan theta will basically depend upon the diameter of the package. So in the above formula, since the ratio of spindle speed to traverse speed remains constant, as the diameter of the package increases, that means as d increases in the denominator, the angle of wind theta decreases. So in the case of drum driven, we saw that the angle would remain constant, but in this case we are finding that in case of spindle driven, the angle of wind will go on reducing. So this is how it will look as the package builds up. You see that this theta has turned into alpha here, and you can see that the actual angle that is there, this green line is parallel to this green line, and we can see that earlier it was more, and then as the package builds up, the angle of wind has reduced to alpha. So now coming to the next parameter in case of spindle driven, that is the traverse ratio. Let us see how traverse ratio is affected here. Traverse ratio is equal to RPM of the spindle divided by double traverse per minute, which can be written as RPM of spindle divided by traverse speed upon 2 into traverse length. So traverse ratio would basically be RPM of the spindle into 2. When I reshuffle or rearrange this, I get 2 into traverse length upon traverse speed. So in the above formula, since the ratio of spindle speed to traverse speed, again, we know that in spindle driven winding, this remains constant, and also the traverse length is constant. So in the above formula, traverse length as well as this ratio would be constant. So the traverse ratio is also, that means the left hand side will also remain constant throughout the build of the package. So what we see here is, this is the situation how it will look like. The traverse ratio would be constant, and only the theta, the angle of wind, would be reduced, which we have seen in the earlier slide. This would change. What about winding speed? So winding speed again is entire square root of surface speed square plus traverse speed square. So surface speed of package increases with the increase in diameter of the package, and traverse speed is going to be constant. So total effect of this would be, therefore winding speed of a spindle driven machine increases with the increase in package diameter. So having seen this, let us come to the summary of the spindle driven machine. In case of spindle driven winders, as the package diameter is increased, what we see is the angle of wind is decreased, and the traverse ratio is constant. So to summarize, the angle of wind decreases, the traverse ratio is constant, winding speed has increased, and with this background of drum driven and spindle driven machines, on spindle driven machines, let us see there is something known as a concept of gain. So let us just understand what this means. Gain is a distance between the winding point, um, is a distance by which the winding point has shifted to avoid patterning. That means this is one coil on the package and this is a second coil on the package. The distance by which it has moved is known as the gain. Linear gain is measured in the direction perpendicular to the direction of the package axis. So the linear gain is measured in this manner. This is the gain that is there. It is the distance between the two coils, but it is measured in the perpendicular direction to the package axis. Revolution gain can be calculated. Now this was linear gain, how it is calculated, just measurement of distance like this. But if you want to find out revolution gain, it can be calculated by dividing linear gain with the package circumference. So revolution gain can be added or subtracted with traverse ratio once it's converted into revolution gain. In spindle driven winding, since the ratio of spindle RPM and traverse RPM is maintained, a precise distance is maintained between the coils, and this results in a precise laying of coils on the package, hence the name precision winder. So let us now, we are in the position to compare the drum and spindle driven machine. So it's a sort of summary which has been put in the form of a table. So let us see one by one the parameters and just compare each one of them. The angle of wind in case of drum driven remains constant, in spindle driven it decreases. Traverse ratio decreases, and in case of spindle driven it remains constant. Patterning it occurs when the traverse ratio is an integer or assumes a value of 1.5 or 2.5, etc. Since the traverse ratio is the one that changes in this case in the drum driven winders, there are we can see that there are chances of patterning. Whereas in case of spindle driven, since traverse ratio is remaining constant, there would be no patterning seen. Package density would definitely increase in this case, and even in this case we see that the package density would increase, because one of the two factors is either which is angle of wind and traverse ratio, which affect package density, as we have seen in the earlier lecture. One of them is changing in both the cases, so package density would change. It depends on both the angle of wind and the traverse ratio. Here it increases because traverse ratio decreases, and in the spindle driven it increases because the angle of wind has decreased. So it increases when the angle decreases, and higher the traverse ratio, lower is the density. That is inversely proportional to both the values. So in this case, we have seen package density would increase drastically in places of ribbon formation or patterning. What about winding speed? Winding speed remains constant, and in case of spindle driven, it increases. So in short, both the above types of winding cannot provide a constant package density, and hence the spindle driven principle is modified as explained further here. So the same table has been copied, only the two rows where we see the angle of wind and the traverse ratio in these two cases. Um, So let us analyze this particular data here that we have. In the above table, it is observed that one of the two factors, that is angle of wind and the traverse ratio, the two important factors that affect package density, change with the increase in package diameter. So in the spindle driven principle, the traverse ratio is constant, traverse ratio as we can see, which is given here, it remains constant throughout the package build. And in case of drum driven, the traverse ratio cannot be kept constant because it depends on the package diameter. So by the formula we have seen earlier, we saw that traverse ratio will depend in case of drum driven, it is depending on the diameter of the package. So whatever I do here, I cannot keep this traverse ratio constant because it depends on the package diameter, and which will automatically keep on increasing as the winding takes place. So it is impossible to control a traverse ratio in this case. So let me look at the other option that we have, that is a spindle driven, whether something can be done with the angle of wind, so that if I'm able to keep both these factors constant, I would get a uniform package density. So in the case of spindle driven winders, reducing the spindle speed, that is the ratio between spindle speed and traverse speed, will still remain constant if I were to even reduce the spindle speed. So the angle of wind can be restored to its original value without affecting traverse ratio. So let us just see how we can do it. Um, Angle of wind is actually traverse speed upon surface speed, and which is traverse speed upon pi d n. Now, if I were to reduce this n, since the ratio is constant, traverse speed and n, this ratio being constant, automatically traverse speed will also change in case of spindle driven, and this ratio will change accordingly. So as the diameter increases, if I were to reduce spindle speed, this entire ratio will reduce, and automatically the tan theta will be restored. But we also need to see whether in doing this it affects traverse ratio also. So let us look at the traverse ratio formula. Here again, this is the formula where we see that the RPM of the spindle and the traverse speed, since this ratio is going to remain constant whether you reduce or increase, in this case this entire formula will give me a constant traverse ratio throughout. So it means that out of these two principles that we have in mind, this particular spindle driven can be modified in such a way that I can try and keep the angle of wind constant in this case, uh, without really affecting the traverse ratio. So if I'm able to do this, keep the angle of wind constant throughout the build of the package, I get a new system that is known as the step precision winder, or a hybrid winding, or a digicone, or commercial name is also known as conotronic. So in these principles, both these will be made nearly constant, so that my package density will remain same. So with this background, let us see how this actually works. So before that, therefore, it would be more convenient to make some modification in the spindle driven machine to try and maintain the angle of wind and prevent it from decreasing as the package builds up. So what are the steps that I might have to take to maintain this constant angle? So this is your tan theta, which is traverse speed upon pi dn again. In the above formula, the spindle speed can be reduced to bring a corresponding reduction in traverse speed, since the ratios are constant as they are gear driven. We must remember that they are gear driven like this. So once I change the spindle speed, automatically the traverse speed will also change in the same proportion. So as the spindle speed is reduced, traverse speed also reduces in the same ratio as the package diameter increases. So by doing this, the angle of wind can be maintained. By this formula, we can see that I can maintain the angle of wind. So what steps do I need to take to get this step precision winding done and try and keep the package density constant? So first of all, in the beginning, this was the empty package that we see, and the angle of wind is say theta. So over a period of time, the traverse ratio is going to be constant for some time. So as the package builds up, this is the package size now. The traverse ratio is constant. All right. When the traverse ratio is constant, but what happens is it will start affecting this theta over here. And as we can see, this was the original angle theta. These are all green lines are just for as a reference. These are all parallel lines. So the angle that this green line makes with the vertical is going to be theta. We can see here that this coil has angle has changed and it has reduced, and so it has become less than theta. That means as the package builds up, traverse ratio was constant, and therefore the theta has angle of wind has reduced in this case. So going further, if the package were to still further increase in diameter, so traverse ratio is reduced. At this stage, what action we take is we reduce the traverse ratio at this stage. And the moment we reduce the traverse ratio, I have reduced it from 2 to say 1.5. And now we can see that this green reference line, the coil has again come back to its original angle. That means original theta is restored. So what we see from this is that as the package diameter increases at frequent intervals, we may have to reduce the traverse ratio to maintain theta. Traverse ratio is reduced at this stage when winding angle deviates too much from the original value, that is theta. Reduction in traverse ratio brings the value of the angle of wind to its original level. So this is what is done. So what we do is in step precision, the angle of wind is it is tried that the angle of wind is remaining constant. So comparison between drum and spindle driven machines. We have these parameters here in drum driven, spindle driven and DG cone. Angle of wind remains constant. Spindle driven, it decreases, but in DG cone it varies. Of course, it will vary, but it will vary within a small range. What about traverse ratio? Traverse ratio will decrease in case of drum driven. In case of spindle, we saw that it is remaining constant. But in case of digicone, it remains constant for some time and then decreases in steps. It will decrease in steps, so there is, but it will be a small range here. What about patterning? We have seen in with what situation the patterning occurs earlier. So in case of drum driven, since traverse ratio decreases, there are chances of patterning. Since traverse ratio is constant, there is no patterning in case of spindle driven. But in case of digicone, traverse ratio is nearly constant for some time and the values are not integers. So again, you will find no patterning. So we have seen three advantages already in the case of digicone. So let us have a look at package density. It depends on the both angle of wind and the traverse ratio. Since in drum driven, this increases, since the traverse it will this package density will increase because the traverse ratio decreases in this case, as we have seen in this table, and the package density increases drastically in the places of ribbon formation, because if patterning is there, you will always find the package density has increased here. So when you really compare it with the others, it is a worse scenario in case of drum driven winding principles. So coming to spindle driven, this package density would increase, and it will increase because of the, not because of traverse, but it will, because it is traverse ratio, it is because of the angle of wind, which decreases as the package builds up. Coming to digicone, density does not change with package diameter much, because all the variations that are there, whether it is angle of wind or traverse ratio, they are in a very very small range. So the package, as the package diameter increases, density does not change as much as it would change either in case of drum driven or in case of spindle driven. Coming to the winding speed, in drum driven it is constant, in spindle driven it increases, but in digicone it reduces slowly due to reduction in traverse speed and then increases to the original value. When you come to the mechanism, drum driven is a simple mechanism, in spindle driven it is slightly complex, but in digicone the mechanism becomes highly complicated. So with this we have seen all the three types, and we can come to a sort of conclusion or the conclusive slide here. And the first point would be several yarn spinning, rewinding or processing machines deliver yarn in the form of a crosswound package. Among different modes of winding like random, precision and step precision winding, step precision winding offers distinct advantages which we have just seen. So step precision winding combines the positive characteristics of random and precision winding to form a pattern free package with coil angle varying over a very narrow range. And these particular statements have been picked up from a paper by Korane in 2013. The reference is given here. And so with this conclusion and the understanding of the different types of winding machines that are available, we come to the end of this particular lecture. Thank you.